Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. The topic in this video is going to be cellular level of organization or the cell structure. It is going to be an overview यानी हम बहुत ऊपर से बात करेंगे because तुम लोग को already ये सब पता है. You've done it in school, you've done it in 12th, and if you want to read up more and if you've forgotten it, you can always refer to your NCERTs as much as required for your current course and curriculum will be done in this video. Okay, so let's get started. This is a cell, ये cell membrane है, ये cytoplasm है और ये सब organelles है. Organelles are like हमारे कैसे organs है, वैसे cell के जो organs है उनको हम organelles बोलते हैं. Cell is the smallest and the functional unit of our body. Structure में क्या आता है? Each cell has cell body and cell membrane. Cell membrane is this part and cell body is whatever is there inside. Inside mainly we can divide it into cytoplasm, that is the light yellow, and the nucleus, that is the dark yellow structure. Cell membrane. We talk about each and every part now in little bit detail, not much. थोड़ा detail में बात करेंगे. First one is cell membrane, is also known as plasma membrane. It is the protective sheath and it separates ICF and ECF. What is ICF? ICF is intracellular fluid. Similarly, what is ECF? It is extracellular fluid, whatever is outside the cells. To understand it better, I always give this one example कि तुम अगर बिस्लरी की बॉटल में पानी भरोगे and then you throw that bottle into the ocean, whatever water is inside the Bisleri is going to be intracellular, and whatever water is going to be in the ocean is going to be extracellular. Correct? Now moving on, composition. What is this cellular cell membrane made up of? It has proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates. We will see about each one of them in little bit of detail. First, we talk about the lipid layer. Lipid में दो lipids है. One is phospholipid and another one is cholesterol. Phospholipid layer कुछ ऐसा दिखता है. It has heads. ये जो red है ये heads है और ये tails है. It's like a bilipid layer. यानी दो layers है. It is like a sandwich, in other words. This is facing the extracellular fluid and this one is facing the intracellular fluid. जो heads है, they are electrically charged and hydrophilic. When we say hydrophilic, that means they love water. Phil means love. Hydro is water, so they are water loving. And a tail which has no charge and it is hydrophobic, that means it hates water or it's scared of water. Phobia is scared, right? So that is the tail part. The second lipid layer में जो second component है वो है cholesterol. Cholesterol ये तुमको दिख रहा है, this purple part. This is cholesterol. Cholesterol is arranged in between the phospholipid molecules and it helps maintain integrity and permeability. What is permeability? Permeability is अंदर आने जाने के लिए जो एक परमिशन जैसा रहता है, that yes, I'll let you come in or I'll let you leave out, that is a permeability. To give you an easy example, अपना बिल्डिंग होता है, ठीक है, सब जगह पे फेंसिंग है, कोई उधर से कूद के नहीं आ सकता है, पर जो गेट है उसके उधर से तो आ सकते हैं ना लोग. So it is permeable at that point. Fine. Now what is selective permeability? Selective permeability is that it allows only a certain substance to come in. Fine. This is not done just by cholesterol. बाकी सब भी involved है उसमें. But since we are at it, we'll talk about it. Selective permeability is allowing only a certain substance to pass through it. अभी गेट का डायमीटर इतना है और इतना बड़ा ट्रक आएगा तो अंदर नहीं आ पाएगा, right? So that is one thing. It maintains structural integrity and permeability. Semi-permeable membrane allows only fat-soluble substances to pass through it. पूरा लिपिड से बना है तो सिर्फ अपने अपने वालों को अंदर आने देगा. अगर तुमको वाटर पसंद है तो इधर मत आओ. समझा? Example: oxygen, carbon dioxide, and alcohol. The next is the protein layer. Proteins, you can see the purple ones. These are the proteins. There are two types of proteins. One are integral proteins. Integral proteins क्या करते हैं? Integrated रहते हैं. They go through and through the lipid layer. This is the phospholipid layer. These two are integral proteins. You can see they are passing through and through. They're tightly bound. और उसका function क्या हो सकता है? They can be channel proteins, carrier proteins, or anything else. दो नाम याद रखा तो भी ठीक है. Find what is the function of channel and carrier protein we will be seeing in the upcoming videos. This you can see, this is a peripheral protein. It is partially embedded in the outer, this is inner surface and this one is in outer surface, and they do not penetrate through and through. Uska examples are enzymes and some carrier proteins. Now we talk about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, last component of the plasma membrane, very small amount, 3 to 5%, थोड़ा ही होता है. It can either be attached the proteins. अगर protein से joint है तो हम उसको बोलेंगे glycoprotein, और अगर lipids से joint है तो हम उसको बोलेंगे glycolipids. इधर तो देख रहे हो ये, this is a glycoprotein. The functions of it is tight fixation of cells. They are negatively charged, hence repel entry of negatively charged substance in or out of the cell. A common example is chemistry में तो तुमको पता ही होगा. Otherwise magnet में भी same poles पास में लाओगे तो repel होगा. Similarly, since these carbohydrates are negatively charged, anything that is negatively charged and if it comes close, it will be repelled off. And they act as receptors. You see this structure, it is in a way suitable for something to sit upon it and that to act as a receptor. Yes, so this is all about plasma membrane. Now we move on to the second part, that is the cytoplasm. The light blue part which you can see. Cytoplasm में सब cell organelles रहेगा. It is a jelly-like material and it has 80% water. It is liquidy. And various particles are present such as proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, or electrolytes. Cytoplasm is like the river in which everything is flowing. Okay, simple. Next is nucleus. Nucleus, we know it is the head, you know, it is the main and the largest organelle and it is contained within the nuclear envelope. To say it simply, if there is a palace का एक fencing होएगा. अगर हमारा cell palace है तो plasma membrane is going to be fencing of the cell. फिर अंदर जो सारे rooms है, they're going to be organelle. जो king या queen का main room है, that is the nucleus. उसका भी एक boundary रहेगा, that is the nuclear envelope. Fine. Anything that is inside, that is going to be nucleoplasm. जैसे cytoplasm था वैसे ये nucleoplasm रहेगा. इसमें और एक structure होता है, that is nucleolus and chromatin. We will see them one by one. First we see the nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm is highly viscous. It is similar to cytoplasm except इसमें nuclear matrix, nucleotides and enzymes रहेगा. The structure अलग रहेगा. The components which are present in nucleoplasm are going to be different. Then next we see membrane. जो हम fencing का बात कर रहे थे around the nucleus. Here you see the yellow membrane. This is the nuclear membrane. इसमें भी ऐसे openings है, pores, which will allow entry of substances from nucleus to cytoplasm or cytoplasm to nucleus. Same है, semi permeable है, सब कुछ आजू बाजू से नहीं जाएगा. And yeah, that is the function of the membrane. Then we come to chromatin. ये red thing जो तुम देख रहे हो, coiled part, it is a DNA histone complex and the nucleus contains the body's genetic material in the form of deoxyribonucleic acid, and this directs all metabolic activities. We all know about this, right? और ये जो है, ये blue part is nucleolus. Nucleolus is small round granular structure which stores RNA and some protein. It is involved in synthesis and assembly of components of ribosomes. So इसमें क्या है, स्टोरेज जैसा है छोटा सा, उसमें आरएनए है एंड सम प्रोटीन्स है. ये हमारा मेन किंग या क्वीन है और ये उसका मेन तिजोरी है, ये उसका घर है और ये उसका फेंस है. This is nucleus. Then we go on to each and every organelle. First one is mitochondria. Mitochondria are known as powerhouse of the cell. Every single child knows this. If you're a little smarter, you know why. Because उधर aerobic respiration होता है जिसमें 38 ATP generation होता है, which is why they are known as powerhouse. They are membranous, that is इनको भी एक surrounding membrane है जैसे nucleus को था. If you see the shape is like a sausage and it has two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. ये brown वाला outer है और ये pinkish जो है वो inner membrane है. The inner membrane is folded. You can see this. These folds are known as cristae. Covers inner matrix. ये जो blue है वो matrix है. And this matrix now has many enzymes. तो जो मेन फंक्शन हो रहा है ना एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन का, वो इधर होता है. Now few facts about mitochondria is that it can reproduce on itself. उसको अगर लगता है कि बॉडी को ज़्यादा एनर्जी का ज़रूरत है, we need few more mitochondrias, it will form a chain of reaction जिससे और एक mitochondria बन सकता है, and it moves freely in cytoplasm. Also, it has its own DNA. This is the main part. The mitochondria is the only organelle which has its own DNA. Nucleus के पास तो है, plus mitochondria के पास है. Next, we go to see ribosomes. Ribosomes का भी हम लोग ने काफी 12th में पढ़ा था कि there is a large unit, subunit और ये small subunit है. Ribosomes are involved in transcription. These are tiny granules composed of RNA and protein. They synthesize protein from amino acids using RNA as a template. ये RNA देख रहे हो, RNA को वो रीड करेगा और उस हिसाब से वो अमाइनो एसिड्स को बुलाएगा कि hello you come, then you come, then you come, and that will form a chain. Wait, I'll just draw it. It's like this is amino acid 1 plus amino acid 2 plus amino acid 3. Like this they'll join and they'll form a chain, and that will be ultimately a protein. So that is done by ribosome using mRNA as a template. Of course ribosome को खुद का अक्कल नहीं है, वो mRNA जैसा उसको दिखेगा वो रीड करके वैसा वैसा करेगा. Ribosome doesn't have a limiting membrane जैसे न्यूक्लियस को था, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया को था, वैसे राइबोसोम को नहीं है. Where are they found? They are found attached to the reticulum, endoplasmic reticulum, and they are freely distributed in the cytoplasm. जो attached वाले रहेंगे ना endoplasmic reticulum पे, उधर वो जो भी प्रोटीन बनाएंगे that will be for the whole body. Body को जो भी चाहिए सब. And the one which will be freely floating now in cytoplasm, that proteins will be only for the cell. यानी सेल को अगर कुछ प्रोटीन का जरूरत रहा, वो फ्री फ्लोटिंग राइबोसोम को बोलेगा हेलो गिव मी दिस प्रोटीन नाउ, एंड इफ बॉडी नीड्स समथिंग देन दे विल गो टू द एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम. न्यूक्लियस ने mRNA भेजा, राइबोसोम ने देखा, and it arranges amino acid into small units of proteins. This we've already talked about. Next is endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum दो टाइप के होते हैं, smooth and rough. This one is the rough and this one is smooth. The only reason why it is called as rough is क्योंकि इधर राइबोसोम स्टडेड होते हैं. स्टडेड यानी कोई भी ज्वेलरी में ज्वेल्स स्टडेड रहते हैं, राइट? एमरल्ड या कोई भी ज्वेल्स या स्टोन स्टडेड रहते हैं, that is called studded. In this endoplasmic reticulum, this ribosomes are studded, which gives it a rough appearance. ये देखो, these are canals. Now what is endoplasmic reticulum? It is an extensive series of interconnected canals. Here you can see this is an interconnection, like city of Venice, except it is there in our bodies and we don't need a passport. Types smooth and rough, like we talked about. The function of both of them is going to be different क्योंकि दोनों का structure अलग है. The rough is going to be involved more in protein synthesis क्योंकि ribosome भी protein और amino acid से deal करता है. And the smooth one is going to be involved in lipid synthesis and steroid hormones. How to remember this? जो smooth है, it is like butter कैसा smooth होता है, and butter is also a lipid. So the smooth is going to be concerned with lipid. Lipid recently हमने किधर देखा? Phospholipids and plasma membrane. So plasma membrane का repair भी smooth ER करेगा. Yes, this is just I think a funny meme. मेरे को लगा ये topic is going to go a little dry. So she wore this dress, Beyonce wore this dress, and there were comments that she's wearing endoplasmic reticulum because it had pearls studded in it and the color was like this. Yeah, so just next we go on to Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus is like a packaging system. It consists of stacks of closely folded flattened membranous sacs. Tongue twister है. Stacks of closely folded flattened membranous sacs. यहाँ पे देखो. This is Golgi apparatus. Structure ER जैसा ही है. Function उसका कैसा है कि ER जो भी proteins बनाएगा वो protein इधर भेजेगा और ये उसको transport करेगा. So ER is the manufacturing unit for your gifts. Golgi apparatus is the packaging unit. तुम लोग ने एक कंपनी में से गिफ्ट लिया, Golgi apparatus इसको लेगा, उसको बॉक्स में डालेगा, रैपर लगाएगा, रिबन लगाएगा और उसको ट्रांसपोर्ट करने भेजेगा. राइट? इट इज अभी बिकॉज इसका काम इतना एक्सपोर्टिंग में है और इसका ER का काम इतना मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में है, whichever cells have the function of synthesis and export, उसमें ये Golgi और ER ज़्यादा रहेगा. But obviously, the proteins move from endoplasmic reticulum to the Golgi apparatus where they are packed and membrane-bound vesicles. इसमें पैक करते हैं. तो हमारा बॉक्स स्क्वायर होता है, इसका बॉक्स सर्कल होता है. Lysosomes, also known as garbage system. Everybody knows what powerhouse of the cell is, but nobody knows garbage system. So those are lysosomes. Lysosomes are also small vesicles. Vesicles yani, it's like a balloon only, okay? There are two types. One is primary, which is pinched off from endoplasmic reticulum. In the last diagram, you could have seen that there is one pinching off. And secondary, which are formed after fusion of primary with something else, like phagosome or endosome. We will talk about this in the next video, phagosome and endosome. What does this lysosome have? Lysosome has a lot of enzymes that can cause degradation. यानी अगर ये food है, ये food दिख रहा है, these are food, तो इसके पास enzyme है जो food को degrade करेगा. अगर ये organelle है, ये looks like a mitochondria, the vesicle or lysosome will eat it up and then it will destroy the whole mitochondria. अभी ये क्यों कर रहा है? If the mitochondria is dead, okay, or it is worn out, अभी उसका function नहीं कर रहा है, it is not necessary anymore. So that is how and when lysosome acts, or it can digest the whole cell also. Yeah, so this is lysosome. So this completes our basic understanding about cell and the various organelles. Like I said, if you want to read up more, तुमको थोड़ा और revision करना है, then you can always read your NCERTs. But this is it for the video. Thank you so much. Practice more diagrams and that will make your work a lot easier.